streaming. Okay, let me jump into... Oh my goodness, I have so many things open. I have YouTube open, I have OBS open, I have Instagram open. Yeah, if you guys want to send demos, you can send it to amel.demos@gmail.com. All right, let me jump over here. I don't know why this isn't work. Okay, this is strange. Okay. Hello, 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 hello. Unmute. Okay. All right. For some reason, my OBS is not updating. Wait, it shows. What? 426. Why is my OBS showing a long time ago? My OBS is stuck on 13 minutes in the past. Okay. I'm very confused right now. My camera on... Here, check this out, guys. Let's see. So here I have my stream open. I have some demos. Up there, it's stuck at 4:26 p.m. and it's currently 4:40 p.m. So I'm not entirely sure. I might have to restart OBS. Fast. All right, let's see if this is going. Let me wave, let me wave, let me wave. Okay. I don't know if this is working. Let's reload it one more time. Okay, I'm gonna try. All right, I think this is working now. There we go. We got a wave. We got a wave. I'm gonna try playing this. Here, let me bring this up here so I can see this guy. I'm gonna try playing some audio and let me know if you guys can hear it okay. And let me know, can you guys hear? All right, we got some incoming help. Can you guys hear me on the microphone first of all? And then if I play audio, can you hear the audio? Okay, for anyone on YouTube, I just want you to drop real quick. Can you hear the audio from the microphone? Oh, it's mainly on the left side. Okay, I know there's a way to make it mono. Anyone in the chat? All right, anyone in the chat, can you tell me how to make it mono? Otherwise, I'm gonna have to chat GPT it real quick. Advanced settings on mic. Okay. Oh, do I go properties? Let's see. I remember doing this a while ago. Properties. Settings. Mono. Ooh, mono. There we go. How's this? Is it working now? Is my audio mono? Can you hear me in the center of your head? Fruity stereo on the mic. There we go. Okay. Let's see. When are you putting that song that you tagged Martin Garrix? All right, you guys. Let me see. Sorry, I'm juggling 2 live streams at once. Let me see. Can I pin a comment here? Send demos to amel.demos at gmail.com. And pin comment. There we go. All right. Hello, everybody in the chat. If you want to see the live stream, I have the full demo stream up on my YouTube channel. I'm live right now, so go do that. I have a pinned comment so you can see where to send demos to. And there we go. If you guys, anyone on YouTube, if we have any audio problems, just let me know. But let's go. I'm going to try to be pretty quick on this. I'm going to try to give very honest feedback. Some of my older streams, I feel like I was a bit too nice on the feedback, so I'm just going to try to be brutally honest, and let's get after it. For anyone watching on Instagram Live, let me see if I can turn up the audio just a little bit. I don't want to get like an echo going, but it's going to be really awkward if I'm just sitting here and you can't even hear the music. Okay. One quick thing with demos, this is good that this is an instrumental, by the way, but I will say I think we're in an era, especially with progressive house right now, where so many progressive house songs have been made that like it's really hard to make, like there's 2 things that can make a progressive house song stand out. Number 1 is if it has a really strong melody, like that's very necessary. Obviously the production needs to be good. But also, I think at this point, a progressive track especially needs a very strong vocal. Otherwise, it just gets like kind of lost. So one thing I always try to do, even if you send a demo with without a vocal, which is actually probably a good thing, even if you're using like an acapella or something, or just like some splice vocal, I would always recommend like structuring the track around a vocal. And planning on putting in a vocal later. You don't have to like start with a vocal from the beginning. Like I'm doing a lot of writing now, so I end up doing that, like structuring a lot of my tracks around a vocal from the beginning, but just something to keep in mind. Yeah, like at this point in the game, 2026, I think you kind of need a vocal, especially on progressive house tracks. Okay, this demo's not bad. It has all the like elements there. Production is pretty good. I would say the melody is good, but it's not great. It feels just like my honest feedback on this track is it's good, but it's not great. Like the melody's there, it's decent, the production's there, it's good, but it's not insane. And I think with how many progressive tracks have been made, like to make a progressive track now, like it really, really, really has to stand out. And like I said, the 2 things that can do that, or 3 things I guess, is crazy melody, crazy production. I mean, this is something that Afrojack has told me, where it's like, I mean, he's told this directly to me for me making tracks. He's like, you got to think of it like this, where you're competing with Martin Garrix, you're competing with Dub Vision, you're competing with Matisse Sideco. Like, there's been so many progressive tracks made that are so big that at least on a production level, you have to at least like match Dub Vision. Like, if you can't make a melody and production as good as Dub Vision, like you just have to look at it like that level. Same if you're making, you know, something in more like a tech house. Like, there's just standards, and like if you're making a tech house thing, it's like, who are your standards? Okay, you're competing against John Summit now. So yeah, it's good. I think you could find a better kick sample. The kick sounds like a bit kind of boxy or something, that's not a ton of body. The leads are really wide. I feel like you can find a mono lead. Like, the leads sound super far out to the side. And I think, yeah, like I said, you have like all the elements here, but there's not a ton of, for like fills, and you can like do automations with like the leads, like filter automations, and add in little more fills and stuff. Like, the track is, let's say, 80% there, but now it comes down to doing like a bunch of automations, stereo automations, like narrowing in the leads at certain points, filter automations, cut out the lows at certain points, so like these fills and snares and stuff. Like, all the main elements of the track are there, but now you can start to focus on bringing in the fills and like really think about adding contrast to the track. So it's not just like a, you know, not just like constant melody going the whole time, if that makes sense. Or like here, right here is a good example, right? It's like, it's going through the break, and then all of a sudden it just like hits this like breakdown with all the synths, and there's no transition, there's no fill. It just feels like you took a couple sections and like chopped them together. So try to work on like transition points. You can use like little fills or little automations, help with that a lot. Like Endless Smile, you can like reverb things out or whatever. Also, the like just overall sound design sounds pretty synthy. Everything sounds very digital. I like seeing if you can make it sound like a bit more organic. You can layer like pianos, or you can add some decay and release to your synth, so it's not so like sustained the whole time, if that makes sense. My mic is low. Let's see. Check. Is that better? I'll try to talk a bit louder. Hopefully that's okay. All right. Let's see. Demo number 2. All right. We got some new demos coming in. Uh-oh. SoundCloud link. Let's see if this is broken. This track cannot be found. Okay. Yeah. So guys, if you're sending SoundCloud links, I don't know why this happens, but I get so many SoundCloud links that are broken. So my preferred method is Dropbox. Google Drive kind of sucks, but it works okay. But if you're sending SoundCloud links, check them. Make sure they're not broken. That one is broken. Let's see. All right, we got 2 demos. Let's check out the first one.
In my mind, in my head, this is where we share. This is what we're waiting for.
Also, one tip for sending demos: if you're sending a demo, like, I don't mind listening to demos with vocals on them, like I was just talking about. It kind of helps like structure the track so you know what's going on. But make sure to label your tracks. Like, I have no idea if this is supposed to be a remix or if it's just a demo and it has vocals on top of it. So just try to like label your tracks so it's very obvious like what the intent of the track is, if that makes sense. Yeah, so again, same feedback as the first demo. Like all the elements are here. Production is pretty good, but it's just like taking a track from that 80% to 100% where it's like fully polished, sounds really, really good. Like you can't just have all the elements there and call it a day. You have to, like, for instance, in this build-up especially, like the leads don't change at all. They're like a little bit filtered out. But think about adding automations, like put a stereo enhancer on, and like maybe filter out some of the lows, maybe reverb it out, maybe like squish together when it comes up to the drop, like put it in mono, because right now it's just like the leads are super wide and then the drop hits and it's just like unfiltered. The filter comes off, but like other than that, that's it. Same thing in the fill here, like in this little drop halfway through the drop. Like you should automate off the side chain. You should have these big like fills, like, because right now it's just the leads go do 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 do. Have like some big snares that go da 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 da. Right now it's just, you know, empty. And then here it just goes back into it. You need some more, like another impact or something. Maybe add some rides, hi-hats. I just turned off, I had my speakers on, so the live stream on Instagram could hear. So now it's gonna be quiet. I just turned off my speakers, so hopefully that should kill the delay. But anyway, for anyone on Instagram, it's gonna be very awkward now because you're just gonna watch me sitting and only talking. But yeah, if you guys on Instagram want to jump over to YouTube, that's where you can actually hear me and hear the music. Yeah, overall, pretty good melody. Not crazy, but it's solid. But just go back and it's like the last 20% of getting a track sounding really good and just adding those little automations and little fills and everything. Like that's gonna make the difference between a track that's like okay and a track that's really good.
I see you watching your eyes on me. A little closer, let's breathe. I'm hearing loud inside. In your touch, I feel alive. Every move, it pulls me inside.
I don't know if these are like AI vocals. They sound pretty cool. Overall, the track, especially the vocals, but the whole track just sounds a little muted. It sounds like you could bring out some more high end. Yeah, this is really cool. I like this one. This sounds a bit fresh. Yeah, I really like this track. This is really cool. I think my only feedback on this is, again, like that it just, a lot of the elements stay the same. There's no like automations, there's no contrast. So try to, you know, when it comes to the end of the drop, like one thing with, especially with dance music, is like you need to kind of, you don't want your track to be too obvious. You don't want to shout out like, hey, guess what, the drop's coming, but like you kind of do. So when you get to the end of the drop, like have a riser, have like some low end filtering out, have like snares coming up, and then like build the tension and then let it drop back into the break, if that makes sense. Right now it's just like it kind of like is in the middle of the drop and then it's like, wait, all of a sudden like we're back in the break, what the fuck. So you need to kind of, yeah, just add those little effects, add those fills to like tell the listener where the song's going. Like right here, I can hear there's like a little uplifter, but it's super, super, super quiet. So like if you're going to put an element in there, like don't try to hide it away, if that makes sense. Like let the riser be there, let the uplifter be there, turn it up a little bit. Like right here, it should be like, and then the break comes and then and like go into the ethereal, you know? So add that contrast. Yeah, this is a great track. It's just missing, like a lot of the effects and stuff could be turned way up. It feels like you put in the effects and then you got really scared of the effects, so you just turn them down. You're like, oh, I want them there, but I don't actually want them to be heard. So yeah, really cool track though. All right, I'm going to keep reloading this, but don't worry, I will keep going. Uh-oh, I'm getting many more demos. We'll get through them though.
I feel you rush, it's like an echo. I cannot decide if I should let go. Feel so alive,
Okay,
inside you echo, 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 echo. Tonight I lose my mind. Now you realize I lose my now you realize I lose my
Yeah, this is sick. Concept wise, this is very cool. Honestly, sound design and production, like it's good. There's just like some mixing wise stuff, like the main lead that comes in at the drop is very thin. It feels like you took a lot of mids out. So mixing wise, I would try to find a reference and see if you can just get the sound a little bit tighter. It sounds, yeah, just a little thin right now. Yeah, this main like lead could definitely be EQ'd. The main like do that sounds quite good, but the like main gritty synth sounds pretty thin. And same thing here, like it's just missing little fills, it's missing automations. Like in this little fill, I would automate off the side chain, because you got to think of it like with dance music, the drops are so hard. Like you're saying, okay, we're gonna like get everyone to jump, but then you got to have moments of release where you like let people breathe. So when you get to a fill, like the whole point of a fill is like giving a moment to breathe before you go back into it. So if you keep on the side chain and you keep on all these elements that's like going in the drop, then no one ever gets a moment to breathe, and it's just like too much energy all the time. So yeah, try to emphasize that contrast, do some fills, do some little automations.
I lose my mind. You got me falling so deep.
I love it dropping down here. I think it drops down a little too much. I think you could maybe, like you have the piano and stuff, but maybe add some like pads or something to keep the energy going just a little bit more.
I lose my mind. You got me falling so deep. We stopped the time.
Wait, let's see. People are saying my microphone is quiet. Let's see if we can change the volume in here. Is that better? Check. Yo, this is sick. Totally switches up the drop. I love that.
I lose my
Okay, one sec. I love that it switches up on this drop, and I love this style of drop. It's like very melodic, very like, yeah, I'm a huge fan of this style of music. I feel like maybe there's not enough separation, like the leads and chords and stuff all kind of mushed together. I would see if you could maybe EQ out a bit of like some low mids in the leads, and just like give each element a little bit more separation. One of my biggest tips, and Afrojack says this all the time, is just like use reference tracks. So like at this point, I have no idea what you've done production wise or like references or whatever, but usually when I get to a point where I have like the concept of a track, sometimes I'll start a track with like references, mixing references, or references for like arrangement or style wise, whatever. But definitely at this point in the track where like the track is already pretty solid, you have the main idea there, then especially since you have two different drops, like get a reference track for the first drop for like mixing wise, for sound design wise, for everything. And then same here, like get a, I don't know, 7 Lions or whatever style you want for like this drop, Millennium. And yeah, just get a reference mostly for mixing. But love the switch up. Yeah, this is fucking sick. If this were mixed better, this is 100% a track I would play in my sets. I love playing music that's like a bit out there, a bit not typical, and I feel like this song does a really cool job of that. So good job. Find references, do some better mixing, but sick track. All right, I'm gonna switch this up. I'm gonna start going back to let's see, I think this is the first track from yesterday. Where was it? April. Come on. Oh, 2025. What the hell? Okay, let's find what was the first one from yesterday. There we go. April 25th. Let's start with this one. I'm going to start working backwards. So we'll get the old ones first. Svenny! Svenfield says, how do you get so fit? It's all the donuts and energy drinks, baby. The more calories, the more fat you lose. Didn't reveal. All right, well, if you guys don't know, this is Buckoy. I released a track with him last year. He's a very good producer. This is actually, it's quite a good track. This is feedback specifically for Buckoy. Production-wise, he does very, very well. I think a lot of the demos I've gotten from him have a lot of similar chord progressions and like similar sounds. So my main feedback here is just like try to start like doing things that you haven't done before. Like, right, it's easy to kind of get stuck in a rut where you keep making very similar melodies, very similar chord progressions. So I mean, this is a good track, but yeah, just see if you can start like pushing the boundary of trying some new things, so you don't keep making similar tracks over and over and over. You know, there's only so many tracks you can make that's like too similar, and then you just start having a bunch of tracks that sound too much the same, if that makes sense. But yeah, production wise and stuff. I feel like the break is a little bit too quiet compared to the drop. So yeah, maybe just like even out the volumes of like, don't have the drop be so much louder than the break. But yes, Bucko is a good producer, so keep it up, keep crushing it. Let's see, where'd we go? We got another one from Judge Mixant. Judgment with an X. Let's see, since I helped with the mono mic, can I get some feedback? Yes, I'm going to go through from the oldest ones, starting from the demos I got yesterday, but I'll go through all of them. Thomas Gray Music joined. Ooh. We're getting the big names in the chat. What vocal is this, by the way? AI? Let me change my volume a little bit here. Okay, first of all, I love this track. Concept-wise, it's awesome. The vocals are really cool. Obviously, it's still AI, so see if you can get like a real singer. Right now, the track sounds very demo in terms of mixing, in terms of arrangement. So I love the style, love the vocals. Like there's mixing things in the drop. The leads sound very mono. So at this point, I would just drag in references, get references for mixing, definitely get references for arrangement. Like it does this drop and then it just kind of goes right back into this like weird break thing. So just arrangement wise, it's like a bit strange. But yeah, like love the track. Right now it's a solid demo and you just need to like make it a proper structure, proper mixing, everything. So solid 80% track. Grab some references and get that baby to 100. But concept wise, love it. Hey, what's good? Okay, good kick sample. This is great. Production sounds awesome. Okay, this track is one of the best produced tracks I've heard in quite a while. Concept is awesome. I think the leads could be a bit more aggressive. It sounds quite a bit cut off, so I think you could definitely like add some more saturation, probably boost some of the highs. In the second half of the drop, I think you could maybe like add a second layer. Yeah, maybe like add like a wide detuned saw layer or something, but I mean, Moloch, you clearly know how to produce. This is all the samples and everything is very good. This is very sick. You can just hear, I mean, some of it's a different style than the progressive house and stuff, but you can just hear in this production, like he has these little tiny automations. He has these little, like in the second half of the drop, you can hear he's done like these little volume automations on the leads and stuff. So those are the types of things that I'm talking about that really make a track like stand out and go to that next level. Also a big part of this is just, you can hear he's using very good samples. He has a well-tuned ear for what samples to use. And mixing, very good. Yeah, my main feedback on this is just that the lead could be a lot more aggressive. Like, the lead should just fucking hit you in the face. Right now it feels a little bit too held back. Maybe in the second build-up, you could repeat the vocal and like pitch it up. So like, ain't looking in, ain't looking in, ain't looking in, ain't looking in, ain't like pitch up the vocal like that. And then yeah, again in this second drop, like if you can add like a wide layer or something to make that lead more aggressive, just bring it in, bring the energy like immediately in the second drop. Julian Cross, what up? Yeah, my main feedback for this is just like the lead sounds too tame and it doesn't like change. So just layer it up, make it a bit more aggressive, but well done on the production. Mixing is great. Okay, let's see what we got. Uh-oh. I like this. This is very cool. Okay, not sure about that piano. You're using some very cool elements in here. I don't know what this little guitar thing is, but I love it. I'm gonna say probably an early on like producer in the early stages. Just mixing wise, everything is there's a lot of mids. The drop is way louder than the break, but very cool concept. Just get some references, work on mixing, keep practicing your mixing and production, and yeah, very cool track. Just keep working on the mixing part of it. I think that's my main feedback. Get references, study mixing. That's kind of it. By the way, I will listen to demos on Google Drive, but I hate Google Drive. For audio, it is fucking terrible. Just a heads up. Dropbox is a million times better. Amel, your sound is doinling a bit. Doinling, doubling. Yes, I'm going to I'm going to show you this really quick. My OBS, hopefully you can see it. I don't know why my sound would be doubling. I have this muted. I have my Scarlett audio coming in. So anyway, if there's anyone in the chat with suggestions, please feel free to help a streaming amateur out. But I'm just going to keep streaming, and if anyone has any suggestions, just let me know. Like it so far. Very calm sound design, very organic sounding. Bloop. Okay, there's a lot of All right, that didn't work. I don't know why I would be doing feedback duration. You need to mute the other one. I don't think there is another one. It's just my one microphone. All right, well, I'll keep doing this. Feedback on this one. It's good. Sound design sounds pretty digital. It sounds very like NCS, which is fine. I would personally try to make this sound a little bit more organic to make it sound like a bit more of a like polished, mature kind of sound. Also the drop is super loud compared to the break, but yeah, it's cool track. The melody is a bit generic, I would say, but like I said, it kind of sounds like old NCS type of thing, but it sounds pretty good. Also in the build up, there's like very little, like there's drums, but there's very little like melodic elements, so I would try to just bring up some volume in that. Yeah, cool track, just work on the mixing. Oh, we got a vocal version. Yeah, just in this build up, there's like way too many elements going away. Like bring up the volume of all the instruments, or like put in more instruments. Just feels too empty. He says, our time is goated. My wife is tired. I play it too much. Well, tell your wife it's a worthy cause that you keep playing it. I think the drop claps are too loud. Like you should probably bring in the drop claps on the second half of the drop, but for the beginning of the drop, it sounds a bit much. Honestly, like sound design wise, sample wise, like it's quite good. Like the kick is pretty good. You could definitely work on mixing, but like overall, good job on picking pretty good samples and everything. Yes, just work on mixing, work on volume, make sure your drop isn't so loud compared to the break. Ooh, this sounds very thin. Very thin. Right here, I would put a resin instead of, right now it just sounds like you have a mono, like sine wave sub. It just sounds very basic sound design. And super thin. Sounds like you took a lot of lows, mids out of your synth. Oh my goodness. There's like zero body to the sound. Very, 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 very thin. Holy shit. Wow. Okay. Not a bad track, not a bad melody, but the mixing is, you have chopped out so much of your main body. Yeah, get referencing tracks. You chopped out so much of the body of your sound, so it sounds super, super thin. It sounds like there's like zero mid bass. Yeah, so just work on the mixing stuff. Definitely use references and just yeah, let me open up FL Studio real quick, and I'm just going to show you a very quick example. As working with top artists in the last few years, anything major about how you produce, work, your process? Okay, we have a pretty good question on Instagram. Someone is asking, working with top artists in the last few years, has that changed anything major about how you produce and blah, 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 blah. I wouldn't say working with like big artists has changed much of how I work. I mean, there's been a couple little tips I've picked up from Afrojack and whatever. But just my process of producing music, I mean, just over time as you produce, you just continue to get better and better and better. I think what I'm going to show you in here is kind of gonna show some of what I've changed. Let's see. A couple quick tips on things that I've changed or realized to make songs sound a lot better. Number one is finding good samples. A lot of what makes a track sound good or amateur, like the difference between sounding good and amateur, is just having bad samples in the beginning. When you don't have a trained ear, there's a lot of shitty samples out there. So even just like having a bad kick sample can make a huge, huge, huge difference in if a track sounds good or not. And there's no, I don't know, it's tough. There's no like rules. There's no like formula you can follow in terms of how to find good samples. Like the main way I learned that is just by doing remakes. And now one of the best thing you can do is like, if you have FL Studio or some stem splitter, AI stem splitter, you can just split apart the stems and like especially listen to the drums of the tracks and like try to find samples that really match that. So finding good samples. Also in the beginning, like I would way over process my sounds. Again, that just comes from like knowing what makes a sound good. And in the beginning, you just, again, a lot of it is training your ear. So referencing tracks is a huge thing. Try not to overcomplicate your EQs. Like in the beginning, I would just like chop out everything here. Wait, let me go like this. So like, yeah, if I just have like some random Yeah, so like what was happening in this track that I just heard, the demo stream. This was something in the beginning that I would do is I had no idea. There was all these people on YouTube telling you, "Oh, you got to cut out everything below 500 hertz." It just sounds super thin. In general, for like chords and leads and stuff, as a general rule of thumb, I would say cut out everything below like 130, 140 hertz. But you can also see, like for this piano, for instance, like there's still some information going on like right around 130 hertz. So mostly with elements that aren't the bass that you're trying to cut out low end of, I would say roughly between 100 and 140 hertz, but you also just got to look at like where that lowest thing is. So if I just go 140 hertz, you can still see I'm chopping out some of that low stuff. So let's just bring it down till, there we go. So like now we still have that low information. If you want to cut out some of that low end, then you can take something like this and just like drag the volume down a little bit. So drag the volume down here instead of like chopping it out completely, if that makes sense. Has a lot of low mids, so like clean up the sound, but don't chop out all the information that's there. So if we go back to here and just listen to this drop again, like you can hear how super thin it is. Like there's just, you don't want all the low muddiness, for instance, of your sounds, but also if you're chopping out too much, then it just sounds super, super thin. So yes, my recommendation for this track is just don't chop out too much low end, work on mixing. Sean is in the house. Do you recommend a certain sample bank like Splice or FL Cloud? I haven't messed around with FL Cloud much. I'm sure there's some decent stuff in it. One of my favorite things to do, one of the things that really helped me finding like pretty good samples and stuff, is I would just like look on, one thing you can even do is just like, I have a bunch of remakes on YouTube. So if you just like go and download my FLPs, like you can just save those samples, like find good remakes of songs that are in your genre and just download those projects and then like save. I'll show you real quick what I've done. Basically what I've done is like over the years, and this takes a while, but, oh wait, hold on, wrong one. What I did is I created a little thing, it's called amel samples, and I've basically over the years, like all the samples that I really like, I'll just go in and like save them. So you can see I just called it amel samples, and then any samples I like, sometimes I'll like tweak my own samples and then save them, or export a riser I make, or download something from an FLP, whatever it is. But then you can just go in and like and just save them in your folder, and then in FL Studio or whatever DAW you have, then they just show up like this. So I have them all numbered, so I can go in and I have like my drums and I have all my toms and stuff I like. I still have a bunch of sample packs down here that I use, but I like my main elements, kind of like your signature sounds that you collect over the years. Then I can just open up a blank project and already drag in samples that I've used in other projects. Or like if I have kick samples or loops or whatever that I've used in a previous project, like I'll just export that and then I have it in my own sample pack. So at least you have like a core foundation of samples that work. Splice, the thing about Splice, and even sample packs as well, there's a lot of good samples on there, and there's also a lot of shitty samples on there. So yeah, it's a bit tough until you've trained your ear to know what sounds good. But I think in the beginning, just try to download FLPs and stuff that people have done remakes, download those samples, and or again, like you can split apart songs with AI now. and like study. Here, I'll just show you a quick example. Let's see, music transfer. I'll just search don't you worry child, or let's see, wake me up. Let's say like wake me up, Avicii. We'll bring this one in here. Let's find the drop. It's at 124 BPM. Okay, we'll just take the drop real quick. So what we'll do, we'll just say extract stems. I mean, if you want to listen to all the elements and stuff, but just for now, I'm just going to take out the drums. This is also a really good way to reference your mixing and stuff, is to separate out all the stems, and then you can listen to like the instruments individually and whatever. But how you was working on the remakes, I often, when I try to do them, spend a few hours on tweaking the sounds, and there's still an empty project. Okay, yeah, so like this is one thing you can do, is you can go in here, and obviously this is like in the drop, so you can't just like take the kick because it's pretty messy. But what you can do is you can like zoom in here and you can look at the shape of the kick. Right? So then if I drag, I mean, I already have all these kicks like already done. I have like wake me up and different stuff. Let's see, wake me up, yay. Like I have a kick that's already really similar. But what you can do is you can like overlay them so you can see, you know, okay, these kicks are very similar. You know, if you wanted to, you could go in here and like go like that and see if your samples are similar. But that's a really good way to see if the shape of the kick is similar. You know, if you have like some random kick sample from Splice that you don't know if it's good or not, then you can, this is just a good way to compare. So like take out the drum stems from a track that you know works, and then find a kick that's similar, and then you say, okay, now I have a kick that's similar, has the same low end. You can see how long the kick is, so the Avicii kick goes till about here. So, you know, that's one way you can kind of compare your samples and see if you have good ones. All right, let's get through this. This guy has 3 demos. This sounds very AI.
Still sets me on fire. We talk like nothing ended.
Peruvian guy. What up?
Take me back to the floor when the candle hits like it did before. We were strangers, we were something more. All I know is I want that one. You back.
I really like this song. Sounds very Kygo, sounds very cool, but it also sounds very AI. So I'm not sure. This might be all AI. Let's see. Okay, if there's any elements in here that's like real production, this is a very cool track. I just can't tell. It sounds very AI, and I'm not sure if this is completely AI or not. So if this is an original track, good job. If it's AI, you can definitely use inspiration from AI. Like if this is an AI track, you just go back and like reproduce it. But yeah, very cool track.
Was it the way I felt in your arms, or the way we used to stay up talking to the
These are all very cool tracks. They sound very Kygo, but I'm a big fan of that style. Yeah, there's definitely some mixing stuff to work on, and again, it's hard to tell how much of these tracks are AI, but if it's real production, then yeah, very cool. This is a cool concept of a track. It's just hard to like all the elements are like mushing together. Like the melody's there, but it's just like very far buried back. So really try to like bring that up, so you can like actually hear the melody. Right now it's just kind of mushed into the chords. Like it just sounds like a very blob of a sound, if that makes sense. Yeah, very cool tracks. I don't know how much of it is AI, but yeah, just work on mixing, and those are some very cool tracks. All right, we have a quick question. It says, what do you do when you start overthinking something? I think that's one of my biggest rollbacks outside of money. Overthinking something. That's a good question. What's my biggest tip? I want to just say don't overthink it. I think if you start overthinking something, just move on to the next thing. Like, it's easy to overthink some things sometimes, but if you just like keep pushing forward, if you get stuck in something, just like move on to the next thing. Maybe export a version, listen back to it later. Sometimes I'll get stuck in loops, like overanalyzing things, but just like move on to the next element. And yeah, if you keep overthinking it later, then like try something else, but just try something new, move on to a different element. That's kind of it. You have your doubts, and they define you. Okay. I like the guitar. Quite good mixing. So far, there's a lot of elements in this that I'm really liking. Love the acoustic elements, the guitar, the production sounds good. I'm not a biggest fan of the vocal. I think there's some melodic things in the vocal that could be better. I would also probably saying weakest days is a bit weird. I would probably switch it to darkest days. I'll carry you on your darkest days instead of weakest days. I don't think weakest days is something that like anyone ever really says, if that makes sense. The melody is pretty good. I don't think it's insane. I feel like you could switch some notes to make it a little bit better. Sound design wise, I really like the breaks. The drop, I think, could use a bit more of an aggressive kick. The leads sound very wide. I would try to maybe switch out some of the presets for the leads. And yeah, my main thing with this track is the vocal probably. There's some parts that sound like they're a bit AI lyrics. The voice, love that you have a real voice. That's amazing. I'm not the biggest fan of the voice, or at least how you processed it. Got to run from all your shadows, hoping they will Yeah, I would, if this were my track, I would try to get a vocalist with like a bit more of a rasp in the voice. This is like a very sweet voice. The vocals also don't sound super well produced. You could definitely add more compression. There's a lot of areas that like duck down really low in volume. And one thing that people do on vocal production, like I've heard a lot of producers who are quite good producers at the like instrumentals, but vocal production is like a totally different thing. But like for instance in the chorus, the voice there's just like one track. So like even if you're gonna keep this vocalist, like get him to do doubles, get him to do harmonies, especially in the chorus. Like right now, the chorus comes and it's just like boop, one mono voice in the center. Like add a bunch of layers, harmonies and stuff to make it like big and epic and wide, you know, because that's like the sound of the track is like this big like sing along moment, but it's just not a very big sing along moment. It sounds underwhelming when there's just one voice in the center. Like I can hear there's some doubles and stuff, but you could do it a lot more. Yeah, and again, I think you could find some much more interesting presets for the drop. It sounds super wide, a lot of super saws. I think you could find something that's a lot more like mono for your main lead, and that could be a lot more interesting. Also, a lot of these string elements are just like I think you could turn down the volume. They're kind of overpowering the voice. They sound a bit synthy. There's some pretty decent presets in Nexus that I use a lot for strings, so maybe try switching out some of those string sounds. But yes, very cool track. I would just work on mixing, definitely work on the vocal production, and again, use references for mixing, use references for arrangement, use references for vocals, everything. Interesting. It's an interesting track. Mixing is sounds very beginner. I think like everything about this track just sounds like it's very beginner in a lot of ways. Yeah, my biggest recommendation, and this is why I did so many remakes in the beginning, is if you like a lot what a lot of beginners will do, and I did this when I first started producing music, is you just like make a track with something that's in your brain and you have like no references of what you're actually creating. So you need an end goal, right? You need to have something that like, I mean, you don't want to just like copy another track, but you at least need some reference, some goal of like, okay, this is where I want to end up. And that's true for your mixing, for your sound design, and that's also true for your arrangement. So like in this song, both the mixing and arrangement just feel like there's no end goal. Like it just feels all over the place. So like, yeah, there's some really cool elements, this like tremolo thing, whatever, but now that you have a concept, bring in some references so you can like have a proper structure to the track. So you can like, there's very little bass in the drop, for instance, and just all those things are things that you kind of subtly, subconsciously pick up by either doing remakes or at least using reference tracks like in your projects. Avicii style demo. Let's see. When is the Sky Falls Down release date? Probably definitely sometime this summer. Maybe in June. Probably towards like later in June. Right now I'm working on just the final mixing and everything. I'm almost finished. I'm waiting on some live violin parts for that, and I also picked up this bad boy. So I'm working on, I just used some like VST guitars, and they actually sound quite good, but I'm working on retracking some live guitars just to give it that real feel. A real acoustic live feel, but it's getting close. So I'm in the final stages of finishing that track, and it will be out soon. Okay. Good samples. There's a lot of good elements in here. You found a good kick sample. You found some good drum samples. I think there's way too much sidechain on the leads especially. And the melody is not the strongest. Like, again, this song just feels a bit unstructured. So I would go and really try to like come up with a very, very solid melody. Yeah, again, use reference tracks to just get a much more structured song. Use reference tracks to, yeah. Also for this track, especially since it's kind of like an Avicii track and maybe more in the pop direction, radio direction, I would bring in like a vocal, an acapella that you can like kind of build the track around. Let's see if I can pin a comment. Send demos to amel.demos@gmail.com. Yay. And we're gonna pin this message. Yay. Okay. Yeah, anyone can send in demos. Let's see. Okay, we have a good question. He says, were your first remakes close to the original, or did you also have shitty sounding remakes? Yes, of course I had shitty remakes. Let me show you. I didn't post all of my remakes in the beginning. It took a while for me to start posting stuff. I think this was the first remake I ever made, or that I ever posted. Yeah, so this was like the first remake that I posted on YouTube, and I mean, you can hear there's a lot of elements that are good. Like I found the Nexus lead that Alan Walker used, so elements like that are good. As far as like the drum samples, I talk about this quite a bit. That's one of the biggest things that when I started out, I was just using shitty drum samples, and a lot of that is not having the right sound, like the sample packs, and a lot of that is just not knowing what samples to use. And probably the biggest part of that, and I know people will probably hate hearing this, but being able to choose good samples, kick samples and everything else like that, just has a lot to do with training your ear and listening to a lot of tracks and a lot of reference tracks and tuning your ears to know what good samples are. And a lot of that just takes time. I mean, there's some referencing plugins. There's plugins now, especially for like kicks. You can, there's like AI plugins where you can like basically steal kicks from other tracks and stuff like that. So you can do that, but a lot of it is just training your ears over time, listening to a lot of reference tracks. And if you do remakes, that helps a ton because you get very used to like analyzing tracks super closely and seeing what samples like the pros are using essentially. Interesting track. It's a decent melody. This is going to be a lot of the same stuff I said before, just work on like automations, fills, everything. Like the foundation of the track is there. You just got to work on the little details, sound design, mixing, fills, get a reference track to like, yeah, just add contrast to the track right now. That's just like a pluck and then a build and then a drop. And there's like, it's all in the subtle details to make it sound very professional. So just go back and start taking time to refine your sounds, add little fills, add little automations, and those things all add up to make it sound a lot better. Let's see. Sound selection is huge. Took me a while to realize that. Yeah, sound selection, picking the right sounds and the right samples, that's like the biggest thing. And another question, it says, how do you master your sound? That kind of ties into that. Mastering should be, maybe this is something that people dispute, but in my opinion, I think mastering should be like one of your lowest priorities. If you have good sounds and you mix those sounds well together, mastering is mostly the process of just getting your sound, your track to be loud at the end. So I would say like people look at mastering and mixing as separate things. I pretty much mix my tracks as I go, and then I'll do like a final mix down at the end. But if you have a very, very solid mix, mastering should not be very much. Like people think you can fix a track by mastering it, and that's just kind of not true. So focus all your time on mixing, getting good sounds. If your track still sounds shitty, then go back and find better sounds and mix better. This is a cool concept. There's some cool sounds in there, everything. I think there's a lot, like way too much sidechain on especially your leads. This kind of sounds like you took inspiration from like that Mesto track from Caramel, however you want to say it. Yeah, it just sounds a bit unplanned. So drag in a reference track. I'm going to just keep repeating this over and over and over. But the concept is there. It just feels like there's no plan to what this is, like there's no end goal. So find whatever track you're inspired by, drag that in, use that for referencing, for how much sidechain you want to do, for the sounds you're using, and especially for arrangement. One big thing in this track is arrangement wise, it just feels like there's no plan to the song, if that makes sense. Okay, Let's see. Young Again demo.
I'm up in heaven tonight, watching the stars in your eyes. Feels like I'm touching the sky. Can we stay here forever? The sun's coming up, we're coming down. Time waits for no one, no one. There's only us, there's only. Let's do something with it. Hold me closer.
It sounds like there's a lot of elements that you're trying to hide. Like this piano, it sounds very weak. Like, again, if you're gonna have an element in there, like let it shine. Don't try to hide it. There's like, yeah, the piano's like way in the background. Concept-wise, the track is decent. I think the melody's okay. Could definitely be stronger, but it's a good start. My main thing here is just mixing. Like the samples and sound design all sound your leads are very thin. They're super wide. The samples are just kind of sound a little bit weak. So again, just go in and whatever tracks inspire you, really try to find samples and reference your sound design and your presets and whatever samples you're using. It also sounds kind of disconnected, like between the break and the drop. Like it almost sounds like two songs that just kind of got smushed together. So not in terms of like melody or anything, but just in terms of, it's like the break has kind of one feel and then the drop just comes in and it sounds very thin right now. A lot of the elements, especially the chords, are very sustained. It's like wah 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 wah. So if you can like turn down the sustain a little bit or maybe like add a piano in there or something, so it's not just like a wall of sound. Doo doo doo. Let's see. Thank you for the kind note, Sashlin. I think that's how you say your name. Didn't realize my fat head was going to be shown. Gotta watch out for the profile pictures. Like the chord progression. Okay, very nice start. Melody is solid. My two biggest points of feedback, mixing wise, everything sounds very messy. There's a lot of low mids just all smushing together with all your elements, with your especially with your chords and stuff. It's just very muddy. Your kick, you could probably find a better kick, but just, yeah, everything in the drop just sounds very mushy and muddy. So definitely work on your mixing. I'm also definitely not a fan of the vocal. I don't know who the singer is, but she has a very, very strong accent, and yeah, it's good that you have a vocal in there, but it just sounds like I don't know, something you get off of like Vocalify or something. So I would try to see if you can get a more professional sounding vocal. There's like the thing about vocals. I know I was talking earlier about how you should go for a vocal, but there also is a threshold working with vocals where like a vocal, if it's a good vocal, can really elevate your track. It's something that people can sing along to and makes your track stand out from a lot of other tracks. But if you have a really good production and a kind of shitty vocal, there's a threshold where the vocal can actually like take away from your track, if that makes sense. So yeah, I mean, and I've had tracks where I will have like a vocal and then try another vocal, and like I'll have a track that will sit around for like months and months and months, and I won't do anything with the track until I can find a vocal that fits well enough. 'Cause otherwise, yeah, it kind of, like I said, it can take away from the track. So if you release a really cool track, maybe it has like an insane melody, but if the vocal's shitty and, you know, doesn't live up to the standard of the rest of the track and the production, then it'll actually take a lot of power away from the rest of the track. Yeah, for anyone on Instagram, yeah, you can still send in demos. Let's see. Oh my goodness. Okay, this dude sent in 5 demos and I don't have time to listen to all of them, so I'm going to listen to a couple. Your vocal is very washed out. It's also, a lot of the elements are very loud compared to the vocal, so it's kind of getting pushed to the background. It's very hard to hear the vocal. Yeah, concept-wise, this is very cool. I think this is actually one of the stronger melodies I've heard in a while, progressive house-wise. So good job on that. The main feedback on this is just mixing. There's a lot of, it's really hard to hear the vocal. Just mixing, you can really tighten it up quite a bit. There's a lot of, some of the effects are like way too loud, stuff like that. Yeah, the drop just feels a little bit muddy and stuff like that. So yeah, work on mixing. I don't know where the vocal is from. It sounds a bit AI, but keep working on the track, work on mixing, and I think that's solid. Yeah, this is cool too. I mean, I don't know who the producer is on here, but yeah, clearly you have a good ear for melodies and everything. I think my main feedback is just work on mixing. That's like, conceptually, the ideas, the melodies you have are cool. You just need to work on really tightening up the mix and making sure each element has its own space to breathe. FIFA demo. Same thing here. Pretty good melody. Just the mixing could be improved. Also, when you have a melody like this, when you're like telling the listener, hey, this is the melody, then don't go and switch up the melody. Like in the second half of the drop, it just gets like super complicated. You can have some variation, but like make the variation small. Don't all of a sudden just like have the melody just like go all over the place, because then no one can follow it. Also the leads in here too, like all the notes just kind of mush together. See if you can add a little bit more separation, a bit more staccato-ness in the notes. All right, we'll listen to one more demo from this guy. This is a very AI vocal. Yeah. Yeah, like I said, you definitely have an ear for melodies and everything, chord progressions. Just work on your mixing. Like, I think some of these tracks could be really cool if you find good vocals for them and just work on the mixing. Melody-wise, they're quite good. Okay, I have a good question here. It says, by the way, can you share your strategy of how you're figuring out synthesis while you're creating remakes and how you nailed the elements exactly in the Brooks someday, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, so I've thought about doing a video. I was going to make a video on this quite a while ago, and I haven't been doing the YouTube stuff as much lately. But pretty much with like 90% of dance music, many of the sounds that are used all come from the same base of, I mean, realistically, like so many of the sounds in dance music come from saws. So I just spent the time to like analyze how sounds are created, and at a certain point of doing sound design in the EDM world, you'll realize that like 90% of sounds are just saws. You like start out with a saw, and it's just a matter of creating envelopes and cutoffs and different things. I mean, I'll just show you really quickly here, like, and yeah, essentially once you kind of understand all the different ways you can affect a sound, like here's like an init preset. So like I can, from this one saw sound, I can go like this. Right, so like this is our basic saw sound. We can just turn this up to like a bunch of voices of saws. Then you find, oh, hey, we have detune, so then you play around with that. That already sounds a lot better. Then you can say, oh, I know how to change the envelope. Add some release. Maybe we add a higher octave. Maybe we add some reverb. Maybe we cut out a little bit of the low end. Maybe we automate a little bit of the highs. Maybe we add one voice in the center. Right, so that's a saw. We can take this chord progression and we can paste it in here. We can chop this up into that already sounds cool, but we can add a filter and we can put this all in here. So I guess, I mean, the point I'm trying to make here is that, like, you can see I just created two completely different sounds, but they're both from saws. So again, it's like all these sounds are coming from the same start point. It's just a saw, and then it's a matter of changing the unison, changing the detune, adding filters. So a lot of the sounds you hear are really not that complicated. Same thing with, here I'll open Sylenth because this is easier to do in Sylenth. But let's see, like let me go like this. Like we can take this and, for instance, like what Avicii would do a lot is he would add like pitching. So he, you know, you take this, put it at a really fast rate. Let's see, what do we got? We got the leads. You know, you can come over here and you can like add white noise, and then that changes the sound of it too. add some delay. Right, so again, and this is all, it's just saw voices. So it's just a matter of like, okay, you have the saws, and then you can add EQ, you can add delay, you can add reverb, you can add pitch. Like all these things are very basic things. It's just when you add them up and you start affecting the sound is when you get these sounds that you think are complicated, but a lot of it is originating from the same place. So at some point I might make a video on it where I basically just show how you can like create so many sounds from one like root sound, if that makes sense. Okay, really quickly, my phone, actually, let me do this. My phone is running out of battery, but I can put it on the charger, and there you go, beautiful shot of my chin. How's that? Okay, we're gonna put y'all in a little stand here. There we go. Okay. All right, back to demos. Yeah, there's some cool ideas in here. I think you just need to work on sound selection, mixing, all that stuff. So I don't have any, I feel like for some of these things, I know you probably want more detailed feedback, but a lot of, like when you're starting out, even though I know this is probably not what you want to hear, but a lot of it is just you need to take the time to practice. You know, it's like if you're starting out in piano or something and you don't know how to play piano, it's like, well, how do you get good at playing piano? And the answer is practice. So that's my main feedback for this is I can just tell by the song. Mixing wise, everything about the song sounds like you're pretty early on in production, which is amazing. Everyone is there. I started out there, and yeah, just practice. That's why they say, you know, you gotta love making music. If you really love it, then you'll keep doing it, keep practicing. Uh-oh, we got a virus detection. I don't know why this is not playing. There we go. Play anyway. Unless someone's trying to hack my computer. Oh, okay.
But you're winning, and I play my favorite song. So come here, a little closer. Wanna whisper in your ear, make it clear. A little question, wanna know just how you feel. If I said my heart was beating loud, if we could escape the crowd somehow, if I said I want your body now, would you hold it again? I'm just your type. I might be hold it against me. Would you hold it against me? If I said my heart was beating loud.
All right. My recommendation is this song is super long. I would find references for especially arrangement, but also mixing and everything. A lot of the elements just sound pretty basic. So yeah, again, you need a target to be able to have an end goal. Right now it just sounds like you just kind of made a song without having much of an end goal. So see if you can find a reference, especially for arrangement, but also mixing wise. Yeah, and just keep keep practicing away at mixing. Please consider this demo. I have a music producer from India. I am a music producer from India. All right, let's see what we got. Doomsday. Ooh, I like the guitars. They're very muddy, but they sound cool. Amel, what's up? Okay, this sounds very underwater. This sounds very underwater. Try to find, references for mixing. It sounds like a lot of the elements are very reverby and just everything sounds very muddy. There's a lot of low end in this. Yeah, see if you can find some mixing references. This is very underwater and mushy. Mushy. Let's see. Medusa. A Medusa remix. Let's see. Ooh. Nice guitar. What's up?
Stay for one more. Stay until the last song. 'Cause I don't wanna go home tonight. All I need is one more. I've been waiting so long, and I don't wanna go home tonight. I don't wanna go home tonight. I don't wanna go home tonight. I don't wanna go home. Can we stay until the last song?
Yeah, nice. This is one of the better produced demos I've heard for the progressive house. It still sounds a little bit digital. See if you can work on making it sound a bit more organic and a little bit less like digital kind of sounding. Also, this is one thing I hear in a lot of demos, especially a lot of progressive house. People want to make their sounds sound like super wide, and you can still have a very wide lead, but it's very important to make sure you have at least like one center lead, because these leads are like super wide, and there's like nothing. You still want to have like at least a little element in the center that's giving it the power. So try to work on that. Just add like a center lead to add that support. Also, let's see. A lot of producers struggle with that. Me too, what direction to take, because a lot of options are endless. Happens to me with melodies, chords, always having a hard time committing. Yeah, I mean, I think the best mindset to have with that is like you can always make a new track. So just make something. If it's not cool, then move on to something else. But as soon as you find something that like is a cool chord progression or cool melody, like try something with it. Produce it out. If it works, it works. If it ends up being shitty, then just make a new one, you know? And that's the thing is, I mean, even with tracks that I like spend a bunch of time on, sometimes I get to the end and I'm like, I can make something better. But even if you make something shitty and spend a lot of time making something that you don't like in the end, at a minimum, you've at least gained that many new hours of practice. So no time that you spend producing goes to waste. That's another thing with, I mean, there's plugins and stuff that'll like generate chord progressions for you too. Most of the chord progressions I come up with, I just make up on the spot. A lot of times, like I'll play guitar, So if you have like a real instrument, you can kind of get inspiration from that. But you can also take chord progressions from songs that exist. Like if you have a song that you really like, just see what chord progressions they're using. And like, I mean, you can do that with anything. You can take a chord progression from an existing song and make a new melody on it. You can take the like cadence, the rhythm from a lead and make a new chord progression around it. So definitely don't be afraid to like take inspiration from existing tracks that you really like and then use one element from it and then like take the melody, or not take the melody, but like take the cadence of the melody, make a new chord progression, or take the chord progression, make a new melody, something like that. It sounds like there's not a lot of structure to this song. There's like all these elements that keep going, but there's no like, it doesn't feel like there's defined sections. So see if you can, like there's some shakers coming in, whatever, but it's just like this kind of bed of sound. See if you can really have defined sections, like maybe a kick comes in and then it's like, ah, hey, this is the pre-chorus, or ah, hey, this is the chorus. All right, Mr. Mike R. Again, I know I've repeated this a million times, but I would strongly suggest you find some references, especially for arrangement, but also for mixing and sound design. Like there's all these synths and stuff in the break, and then it gets to the drop, and it just sounds very empty. Like there's leads, there's kick, there's bass, but like there's the chords just drop away in the drop. Yeah, also vocal wise, I think you could probably find a vocal that's stronger, or maybe for now just like find an acapella that you really like and pop that in. Let's see. Ooh, from 6 in the morning. No, I'm not gonna download this. If you guys want to send demos, send something I can listen to online. But sorry, I am not going to download random files on my computer. There's already too much bullshit and I don't have much space. Very nice piano sound. It sounds very muddy. I would take out some of the low mids. Okay, there's some cool elements in this track. My main thing is that there's no, like, it's really hard to follow. So if you're making, like, if you have a drop melody, you should like tease it or something in the build. Like, there's a fine balance with EDM where you don't want it to be too, I mean, with any song, but especially EDM. Like, a lot of EDM is letting the audience know where you're going so they can be ready. It's like, hey, the drop's coming and this is going to be the melody for the drop. So for instance, in this, it's just like a break and then the drop melody comes out of nowhere. So you have no idea what to expect. Like, we don't know what the melody is going to be at all. Yeah, like some mixing stuff could be improved and everything, but mainly just try to come up with a structure and like tease the melody a little bit so people kind of know what to expect. Hello. Thank you for tuning in. Let's see, we got another good question. It says, Amel, do you leave space in the mix for vocals when starting from scratch on a new track, or do you make an instrumental? It really doesn't matter, to be honest. I mean, these days I've been doing a lot more writing, so a lot of the songs I'm starting nowadays, in the beginning I already know there's going to be a vocal, or like I'll start writing the track with a vocal, even on the guitar or something. So yeah, I would say lately, like, I've been starting the tracks with a vocal as one of the main elements and then building the rest of the track around that. But it really doesn't matter. Like, if you are making a track and you want to add a vocal later, and there's too many elements, like, it's super easy just to go in and take out elements or change some of the elements. I would say if you can start a track and know what direction you're going in, like, you want to add a vocal later, then obviously that's a good place to start, so you can like not do too much work and then have to redo your work later. But yeah, I mean, there's no point in the production process where you can't take out elements or change elements. A lot of times I'll have a track sitting around, and I'll have it one version, and then later on or like I think a good example, there's been some songs that I've started out as remixes. And so even if there is a vocal, like, I'll have a remix vocal in there, and then later on I'll end up using that as an original track and like writing a new vocal around that. And so sometimes, depending on the specific vocal, maybe there's little elements that you change, like you had the remix vocal and then you change it out for an original vocal. But yeah, it's like, as long as you're not afraid to just go back in and make some tweaks later on, like, you can always change that. And if you're putting in a vocal later, it's always easy to make more space for that, to change up elements. So I think the main thing is just creating a good song first, and then as long as you have a good song, you can find vocals later, you can put in vocals, you can change elements. So I wouldn't overthink it. Do you tend to use around 5% on something like Track Spacer? I generally don't. There's been some tracks that I've tested out Track Spacer, but normally I don't. I just try to mix in all the elements to support the vocal but not overpower it. Yeah, Track Spacer is a good tool, but it can, if you overdo it, it can start making your track sound a bit weird. Like, there can be a point where it just sounds like you're, the vocal's here and then the track is here, and it's just like you're carving out the track way too much. So most of it for me is just using the right elements. Like, if you're doing a break that has a big vocal in it, don't use a bunch of synths. Like, use elements that are a bit more gentle and allow the vocal to shine through. George Lawrence, I will get to you soon. I like the synths. Yeah, Track Spacer is the plugin. It's basically like a dynamic compressor. You can sidechain elements to it, so you can like route your vocal into it. and then whatever track you have it on, you can like put all your instruments on it, and it'll like duck certain frequencies around the elements. So it gives, I mean, it's exactly what the name says. It gives space in the track for the vocal or whatever elements you want to use. This is pretty cool. I would say the melody is pretty strong. Mostly it's just mixing and song structure. Again, just go and find some good reference tracks to get a really solid, strong song structure. Make something that's cohesive. Again, like make sure to tease the melodies so people know where you're going. But yeah, cool melody. Just work on song structure and mixing. Let's see. Are you planning on releasing any future house in the future? That's a good question. I still have quite a few future house tracks laying around. I've thought of maybe making a new alias so I can put those out. Right now, future house tracks are like pretty out of style. So I don't think I'll be releasing any future house tracks on my main project anytime soon, but I might make a new alias and just have some tracks that are like less popular nowadays, but still put them out. We'll see.
I was only walking through your neighborhood, saw you ride on honey in the cold. I stood anywhere I go, there you are. Anywhere I go, there you are. I've been getting used to waking up with you. I've been getting used to waking up here. Anywhere I go, there you're the fire and the flood, and I always feel you in my blood. Everything is fine.
Mixing could use some work. It sounds like, I don't know if you're like smashing everything into a limiter and it's like making things duck in a weird way. Definitely mixing could use some work. I think the melody is not crazy, but it's pretty good. Mostly just song structure wise. Like you can see there's these giant breaks here, so it feels like the song just like stops. You're like, wait, what's happening? And then it like goes on to the next section. So see if you can just like keep the song going a bit more instead of having these big breaks. Again, just find reference tracks for song arrangement is my biggest feedback. Let's see. Question. It says releasing different stuff under one alias is a bad idea. No. I think there's a fine balance to it. Like, especially when you're starting out and kind of establishing yourself as an artist, I think it's very important to stay in a similar lane. Like it, production wise, when I started out, I just made everything. I would make like future bass and future house and progressive house and Alan Walkery stuff. So I would say from a producer standpoint, it's very good to try a lot of things. If you can make many genres, that's going to help you out just as a producer, and being able to produce multiple genres is a very good thing. But then once you're actually trying to create a project, like it's very important to be releasing music in a similar style so people can actually get a sense of like, oh, this is Amel. He does progressive house. I can count on the next release he does is going to be like, you know, you don't want to put out a progressive song and then your next song is a dubstep song. And especially if you're planning on DJing and stuff, it's like if bookers and promoters don't have a strong idea of what your sound is, then they're not going to book you because they don't know what the hell you're going to play. So that's one part of it. The other part of it is at a certain point, like I'm at a point now working on my album where I want to start branching out, because you don't want to get, like, you want to establish yourself in a lane, but you also don't want to get too stuck in a lane. So like I would say maybe 70% of my album is like progressive house type of stuff, but then I've started mixing in a little bit more like acoustic stuff and folky stuff, and I have a few like melodic bass songs. So I'm at a point now where I'm starting to branch out and don't want to get too stuck in a lane. But as far as like the future house stuff, for instance, you also just got to look at like what's working now. And as much as I love future house, that's just not popular right now. So for me to go and release some future house stuff on my main project under Amel, there's no advantage to it, you know, other than me releasing a song that I like. Like, it's not going to do well on streaming. It's not going to help me with bookings, anything like that. So that's why I would say, like, don't get too stuck in a lane, but also if you have a track that you really like, but it's very different from your main style, or it's not going to help you out, help your career in any way, then that's the point where I would say, like, make a release plan for it, but maybe make an alias so you can still, I don't know, almost like a fuck around project. You know, if you have songs that are like very random, but you still like them, just make an alias and release them, and that way they can still be out in the world, but you're not like messing up your main project, if that makes sense. This guy likes.
AT&T or T-Mobile bill?
Oh, come on.
I've been hearing that a lot. Good news. Bring your AT&T or T-Mobile bill to Verizon.
SoundCloud, you guys. We're getting all sorts of ads. Gotta love it.
And get to Verizon. Run, ride, canoe. Whatever it takes, we'll be here. Bring your AT&T or T-Mobile bill to a Verizon store today, and we'll give you a better deal on the best network. A better deal.
I hope everyone
No
in the
surprises.
Instagram
That's
live
Verizon.
chat is
Best
enjoying
network based on
watching
quick
me
metrics, best overall mobile
sit
network, 22
and
seconds,
talk
2025.
and hear none of the demos because my volume is off on my speakers.
Good
Must be a fun time.
Free dessert.
All right.
Bad surprises, hidden fees.
Oh no, we have a
That's
second
why
ad.
University of Phoenix's tuition
God
guarantee
dang it.
locks in your tuition rate from start to finish of your program, so you can focus on the sweet stuff.
All
Learn
right,
more at
let's see if this is the last one.
Eventually, so if our time is running out, day after.
If you're doing a bootleg, if you're doing a remake, or sorry, not a remake, if you're doing a remix, try to match your vocals to the style of your song. So like Alex Warren is a very acoustic, folky type of sound. That's awesome. But like EDM is a very polished sound. So if you're going to take the original vocal, like EQ it. Right now there's a lot of low mids, which is that works for acoustic music. But if you're going to put that sound, if you're going to take that vocal and put it in an EDM track, cut out a lot of those lows, make it a lot more bright to fit the style of the track. Like this vocal is super, super muddy compared to the rest of the track. Yeah, this is a pretty cool melody. Overall, the mix is just very muddy. A lot of elements mushed together, so see if you can really clean that up. And especially, like I said, on the vocals, clean that up a lot too. Okay, this arrangement is very strange. Overall, I would say your mixes are fairly muddy, so see if you can clean up your mixes. And also arrangement-wise, they're just kind of all over the place, so really find some reference tracks for your arrangements. Yeah, your melodies and stuff are pretty cool, but just mixing wise, everything's pretty muddy, especially in your chords. Like, see if you can. Here, I'll show you really quick what I mean. If you're doing a chord, like basically what you're doing in your songs is. So like it sounds like this. It sounds very basic, very muddy. One super simple thing you can do, but it's going to help a lot, is take these thirds, like these are normal triads, take the middle note in these chords and just put them up an octave, and already that's going to give so much more space. That just sounds so much more interesting then. And then once you have that, then you can start getting more interesting with your chords, like stuff like that. So that's one thing that can help take some of the muddiness out of the mix. Okay, let's see. Got some phasing issues on my stream. Oh no. Producing EDM. All right. We have someone who's requesting to be in my live. Yeah, for anyone on Instagram, if you want to go check out the live stream, it's on my YouTube channel. I have to keep my speakers off, otherwise there's an echo. So it's probably a very boring live stream on my Instagram live, but jump over to my YouTube channel, and I have my whole live stream up there. Holy shit, I got a whole stream of emails from one dude. Okay, let's see what we can do here. Nice guitars. The mix sounds a bit like weak. I think a lot of the elements, especially the piano, could be a lot more in your face. Like concept wise, it's very cool. Mixing wise, it's not bad. I think all the elements could just be a bit more aggressive. It's a cool track. There's a lot of cool elements in it. I just don't know. It doesn't have like a structure or anything, so it's hard to tell what's going on. Melody is pretty cool. Just mixing. The leads could be a lot more bright, and the kick is super loud. Yeah, just work on mixing, get some references, and try to match your sound a bit more to references.
Oh, look, a wave.
Oh no, we're back to ads.
The wave reminds me of mortgage rates.
It reminds you of mortgage rates.
Yeah, they go up and down. But with lock and show from
Yeah,
different
if you
credit
guys are
unions,
having
you can lock
an
in your rate
echo,
before
I don't know what's causing it. I'll just show you my
Lock in your rate
OBS
and then
again.
shop with Int Credit Union, the official mortgage lender of the Denver Broncos. Equal housing
delete.
opportunity insured
Let's
by
see, screen
NCUA.
capture, audio capture. I'm just gonna delete this.
Now's the time to save.
I don't know why there would be an echo, but let's see. More ads. Don't. Yeah. Anyway, here's my OBS. If you guys have any suggestions, feel free. I'm not sure why it'd be echoing. I feel like I have some problems with this sometimes. All this is disabled, so I don't know. I don't know why it would be doing this. Yeah, it's a cool concept. I think just like song structure wise and mixing everything can be tightened up. But yeah, just maybe, I don't know, find like a cool vocal, some splice thing for the break, and just work on the mostly arrangement, to be honest. Oh, Facebook, that's not what I want. There we go, more demos. Uh-oh, can you not hear anything anymore? Do-do-do. Yeah, overall, pretty cool melody. I think it could be a little bit better, mostly just mixing wise. I think you could make it sound a bit more pro. Also just things like here at the end of the drop, it just like the sound just cuts out. You should have like some sub drop or some transition effects or something.
At the coffee shop, I drink too slow just to sit there longer. I watch the screen waiting for your light. One small ring makes the silence softer. I talk to shadows on the wall, like you're up on the floor. Tell myself this aching space is just a waiting room for more. I'm loving you from miles away, touching you in things I can't say. Every heartbeat reaches out across the quiet, across the doubt. The distance is the price I pay. I'm sending my soul in every way.
All right, my main feedback for this would be mixing, and the vocal sounds very, very AI. All the lyrics and everything just sounds super AI. Yeah, just like all the rhyming and stuff sounds super cheesy. I know AI is a good tool. I mean, a couple years ago when I was not able to work with as many vocalists and stuff, I'm sure I would have used it as well, but I would highly recommend, even if you find vocals from like Splice or Vocalify or something, that's going to be a lot better than the AI stuff. The AI stuff just sounds super cheesy. It'll probably get better over time, but right now it's very cheesy lyrics.
If there was no doubt, now I know it's true. Way would you found me, lead me into your world, into the unknown.
Hey, this is pretty cool. Nice.
If there was no doubt, now I know it's true. Lead me into your world, into the unknown.
Yeah, solid demo. Production sounds good. I think you could probably do some more automations and just like little details and stuff to make it more interesting. But yeah, very cool track.
There comes a time when it's all been said and done. I'm living my life, and I am ready. So you can try to hate me.
This one sounds good.
Break me, go ahead and try to take me. 'Cause I'm untouchable. You can try to save me, elevate me, go ahead and try to make it. 'Cause I'm in love with you. 'Cause I'm in love with you. So you can try to save me.
Okay, very cool. Yeah, this is great. Production sounds good. I think just like little small things like try to make each section like a little bit more impactful. Like right here you could do like have the reverse synth come in and then like chop off and then hit instead of just flowing in. Cut it and then yeah, just work on like little fills, little automations and stuff, but that sounds great. Production sounds good, track sounds good, so good job. Oh no, another Google Drive link. And it's not working. Wait, there we go.
The room feels heavy, a freezing place.
Sounds very AI vocals.
Music hits, the ceiling burns, colors scream.
Yeah, you guys can send tracks that are already released. I don't mind. I'll still give you feedback.
Our eyes are flow, and that color
Mixing could definitely use some work. Mostly song structure is just, it's very unclear, like where the drop is and all of that. So I'd definitely work on song structure. Vocal sounds very AI. See if you can find a vocal that's less AI. Sean Magna, what's up? Sean Magda. Oops, I fucked that up. All right, what do we got, Sean? Got a little extended mix.
watching all the stars go by, and I'm holding on to you, 'cause you're holding me real tight. If I had a choice, I would choose you every time.
Not the biggest fan of the vocal. It's not bad, but it's not great. Sounds very mono. Maybe see if you can add a little bit more reverb or something. Some delay.
Don't know how to breathe without you by my side. Know me well, know me well. You know that I can never leave your side, like a wave crashing to me. If you're the earth, then I'm your gravity.
Cool melody. It's the leads sound very mono and they're kind of clashing with the piano. I would try to add some maybe wider leads and give some separation between the leads and piano. right now they're just kind of mushing together. Yeah, production is pretty good. Right now, the chords sound super basic. I would see if you can maybe try to make the chords a bit more interesting chords. And yeah, the leads are very thin, and the chords and leads are just like mushing together. So see if you can just make the leads a bit more powerful and let the lead shine through and try to give some separation between the leads and the chords. Yeah, and again, the vocal it's decent. It fits its place, but I think you could, like, is it okay? Would it work? Yes, but I think you could find something definitely stronger. Ding, 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 ding. Nice. This is a very cool track. I think you have too many fake outs. Like, especially for the first drop, I would probably just go right into it. And yeah, just keep it a bit more simple. Like, just go right into the drop. When the second half of the drop comes in, just go right into it, come in with the hi-hats instead of doing all these fake out things. Also, in this, there's like this big build down. I would just go straight into the second break. You don't need to do like this weird, like, kind of little ramp up thing. Like, all the energy just drops out. Like, you can just chop out this whole section. That is very unnecessary. Yeah, so it's a little bit weird. Like, I would, like I said, in the first drop, just go straight into it. And then in the second drop, then you can do like the little fake out thing. But I would probably try to keep the main melody. It's a little bit confusing when you have like this whole second melody and then you go back into the first melody. It's like, it's a bit confusing of where you're trying to go. But production wise, sounds great. So nicely done. I think you could tune up the mixing a little bit, but it sounds quite good. Oh, we got a whole video. What's going on here? Melody is pretty good. It's not like insane, but it's a solid melody. Just mixing wise, sounds like you're just, yeah, see if you can find a better kick. Sounds like you're just slamming everything into a compressor. So yeah, just see if you can work on mixing a bit. Try to take off whatever compressor or limiter you have and mix from there, and then at the end, then you can put a limiter back on. But right now, it just sounds like it's just absolutely smashing it into a limiter or something like that. I think this is the one that I played at the very beginning. Mixing wise, it could be a little tuned up. Melody it's okay, but it could definitely be stronger. It's pretty repetitive. Yeah, just see if you can like take the foundation of the melody you've already created and then yeah, tune it up from there. We got Sleepy Boy says, "Aren't you tired, Amel?" A little bit. My sleep schedule has been very messed up, but a bit ironic coming from Sleepy Boy. Sleepy Boy says, "Aren't you tired?" I don't know, Sleepy Boy. Are you tired? It's pretty good. The melody sounds a little bit generic, but it's pretty solid melody. Mostly, yeah, just mixing. The vocal could definitely stand out a bit more. It's getting kind of buried in the mix, and in the drop, definitely sounds a bit muddy. So see if you can just clean that up and make your mix a bit tighter. Let's see. We're getting to all the demos. We've gotten quite a bit more today, but I'm getting through them. I'll try to keep going through them quickly.
You played it cool and I played it dumb. Don't you think I'm a little too young to be messed with like that?
What's this of?
So convincing, you made it look fun. Laugh it off, but the damage is done. Saying, baby, just relax, relax. I got my hopes too high. You hardly said goodbye, then casually walked out of my life. Oh, we don't talk anymore, talk anymore, talk anymore. Give me the silent treatment. The least you could have done was give me a reason. And I can't ignore the way I hate you for leaving.
Okay. This is dope. Yeah, this is cool. There's a lot of white noise in the drop. I would see if you can maybe fatten up the leads a bit and take some of the white noise out. But yeah, this is very cool. I haven't heard this original song yet, but it's a very cool vocal. By the way, I think I'm going to end this Instagram stream. If you guys are on Instagram, and you want to check out the live stream, head over to my YouTube channel. But you guys cannot hear anything, so I'm just gonna cut this off, and I'll catch you over on YouTube if you want to see me there. All right, let's look at the next one. Vocal sounds very AI. Yeah, the production and mixing in the drop honestly sounds pretty good. My biggest feedback is in the break. The vocal is like very in the background, especially like right here. It's super quiet. Yeah, again, drop production is quite good. Melody is good, everything, but just in the break, like I think you can turn down the elements a lot. It's the vocals getting very drowned out. There's a lot of high end in the break. Yeah, like we were talking about earlier, building tracks around a vocal, you just gotta leave space for the vocal. So that would be my main feedback for that.
Know your arms are reaching out from somewhere beyond the clouds. You make me feel like my troubled heart is a million miles away.
Melody is okay. It's not crazy, but it's a decent start. Mostly just mixing wise, sounds a bit thin. Yeah, the leads are super wide. See if you can add like a center lead, and just get some references for mixing. But it's pretty good.
Love the way they all keep talking. Everybody likes the sound, but no one ever hears the crying out. You make it's like home, like home.
Okay, concept-wise, this is very cool. Like, the idea of it is very cool. Just mixing, like, it's very weird. It goes into this, like, kind of teases the melody, and then it just goes straight into the drop. So I would, like, try to make some build-up or, like, tell the audience that the drop is coming. It's also it's like you have the lead kind of thing going on and then like a sub bass, and it just feels quite empty. It also sounds like the sub bass is like super wide or something. So if you can like make a more mono bass and yeah, try to keep your low end like it just sounds very, very wide. Also, your hi-hats are very quiet. Sounds like you could turn them up quite a bit. Demo link. Please don't give me ads. Disappointing build plus disappointing drop. Alright, let's see what we got. Well, I'm not sure what feedback to give. I think the title was pretty accurate. I'm not quite sure what to do with that one. Don't even know. This sounds like something. It sounds like a third-party thing or something. I feel like I've heard the melody before. Production mixing wise, it's not too bad. Could definitely be improved, but I think my main feedback is it's just a bit of a weird style. It's like all the sounds are progressive house, but then you're kind of doing it more in the style of future house. So I would try to like pick what style you want to go in and then like do it fully that. Right now it's just like a weird middle ground between halfway progressive house and halfway future house. It feels like a bit like you're unsure of the type of song you want to make, if that makes sense. Doom, 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 doom. Okay, concept-wise is very cool. You've done some very cool, like, stuttery things with the vocal and everything. Just mixing-wise, it needs quite a bit of work. I don't like the kick sample, and everything is just, like, very reverbed out. I think with this style, you should have, like, the lead very in your face. Just sounds very washed out overall. Yeah, I can tell you have a good ear for melodies and everything. Just mixing, you need to find better sounds, and most of your sounds sound quite washed out. So see if you can just really get some mixing references, get some sound design references, and try to find some better samples. Which is just something that, again, happens over time. So just practice, practice, practice. Keep using references. Try to find songs that inspire you in the same genre and use those as references for mixing, for sound design, everything.
There are a lot of good reasons to donate to the Salvation Army thrift store.
And here we go
Downside,
again. More
pre-college move out,
SoundCloud ads.
post-college move in. Knitting was more dangerous than you thought. You're actually a true winter. Your collectible stuffed animals aren't an investment after all. Panini
Alright,
readers,
we have been
you're no longer
streaming
into
for
neo-Victorian
approaching on
slug
3
interior design.
hours.
And then
Let's
there's
see how
the
many more
most good
demos I
reason.
have.
Helping someone in your community get back on their feet. The Salvation Army thrift store.
Do I have more?
Donating
Oh shit, I
does
have
the
way
most
more.
good.
Oh fuck. Alright, I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to get through all these today. I might have to cut it off soon. Doodling-ding, tuk-a-dung-dung, tuk-a-dung-dung. Yeah, same thing here. Conceptually, like melody, everything is good. You just need to work on mixing. Alright, starting from now on, if there's multiple links, I'm just going to listen to one track and move on to the next. Let's see, Max Robinson, what you got? Well, Max Robinson is a good producer. I've released a track with him before. Yeah, sound design, mixing, everything sounds pretty good on this. I'm not the biggest fan of the melody. Sounds a bit generic. I think it could be better. But, yeah. I think one thing that happens is, like, there's 2 parts about making music. The first part is being a good producer. Max Robinson is already a good producer. But the second thing is once you can produce a track well, then it becomes like really the only thing you can change once you're a good producer is how good the song is as a concept. And that really comes down to chord progression, melody, song structure. So like in this case, I mean, you can hear he's a good producer. I just think the melody could be stronger. And I mean, I have that a lot of times too. Like I will go through so many ideas, and I think as you get better, as you keep producing more and more and more, generally your ideas get better and better and better. But there's also something to knowing, like, you might make 10 songs and like 8 out of the 10 songs are good, but they're not great. And being able to recognize that and like put those in the trash bin and being okay with that. I'm not saying the track that I just listened to from Max, like, I think you could work on that and make it pretty cool. But like, especially with progressive house, since there's been so many tracks made, there's definitely one element to being a producer and being a good producer that's not even about the production, but it's just about the decision making of like, okay, I have 10 tracks, and instead of trying to release all 10 tracks just because you made them, like, make 10 tracks and then only pick the best, like 2 or 3, or maybe it might even be 1. Like, keep making tracks until you have one that's like really, 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 really good, and don't settle for the melodies that are like mediocre, if that makes sense. Okay, mixing wise, I think everything about this track, there's some cool ideas in it, but mixing wise, song structure wise, melody wise, everything can just be tuned up better. Yeah, right now it just sounds like a lot of elements like mushed together, and there's some cool ideas, but try to get some references and try to like make a proper track. Right now it's just like, it feels very unstructured. Same with this one. Like there's an idea there, but it's not like a finished idea. There's no like core element. There's no like main lead or main sound. It's a bit hard to follow. everything just sounds pretty washed out too. Let's see. Yeah, mixing wise on this is all over the place. Again, I don't know if this is the same song I already heard, but it sounds like you just smashed everything into a limiter. So see if you can work on mixing and, again, take off the limiter and do mixing before you smash it into a limiter and make everything sound good and then put it into a limiter. Right now it just sounds very smushed. Someone says, the song you sang in your story, is this going to be in your album? It's not going to be on the album. This is, I think, one of my favorite songs. I need to do a lot of work on the production and redo a lot of elements. But this is probably going to be one of the follow-ups that I do right after my album. I'll just play you a little tiny teaser of what I have right now. There we go. That's all I'm going to play for now. I absolutely love the song. I think it can be a really strong song. I just got to redo a bunch of stuff. But that's kind of on the back burner until the album is out. It's actually very similar style to a lot of the stuff I have on my album, but I have way too many songs on the album already, so that's going to come afterward. Oh my goodness, loud.
Every hour it goes by in time, losing control. Just
I think this melody is actually quite solid. Just mixing. You need to work on mixing. There's so much white noise, and yeah, the elements, just everything sounds pretty muddy. So very cool concept. The vocal sounds quite AI. Yeah, what do I mean by using a reference track for comparison? So let's say I have, let's see, what's a good example? Okay, so like yeah, I can use this. So like I have my track Sky Falls Down. So if I mean this is not the actual project, but I'll just show you really quickly if this were the project. So like, I mean, this is a very good reference because it's also in the same key. But you can do many things with song referencing. So one is song structure. Like if I'm working on this song, Sky Falls Down, I can take the instrumental of Wake Me Up and say, hey, like how long is the verse? And then how long is the pre-chorus? And then how long is, you know, the build-up? You can look at the song structure like that. A lot of what I do for song referencing too is the mix. So if I say like what do I want my song to sound like, what I'm going to do is use, this is my song here, and then I'll compare that against a song that, I mean, try to ideally if you can, especially for like mixing reference, try to find a song in the same key. But you can just like hear the elements. Part of it you can use like span. If I play my track, okay, let's see, do I have enough low end, blah 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 blah. Let's use a reference track. Okay, you can see it's like a pretty similar mix here. So like just listening back, I can hear my track is like a little bit more in the mid range. So maybe I could go in here, like if I don't know, let's drag some new tracks back to the beginning. Like this. So I'll say Sky Falls. I mean, I would do this in the original project, but in number 2, like I can hear there's some kind of maybe a bit mid lows that are in my track. Maybe even do some more detailed stuff like on the side. There's some more like mid lows, so I could chop out some of that. But yeah, I mean, you can use reference tracks for anything. You can use it for sound design. You can use it for song structure. You can use it for overall mixing. Like there's so many things you can use reference tracks for. I would say the main thing I use it for is mixing, just to, once you have the concept of the song, like what you know, how the track sounds overall. Because a lot of times, I mean, I'm guilty of this too, but I'll just start working on a song and I won't think too much about, like, I'm just making the concept of the song. But once you have it like pretty close to being a final song and all the elements are there, then you can go in and like start doing the fine details of the mixing. Another thing that I'm just showing you now is like I can go in here. I just split these apart with the stem splitter. So let me just make these different colors. But this is like a next level of using references. is splitting everything apart with AI. Then I can go in here and like look at do my kicks. Like I can listen to the original Avicii track and say, okay, his kicks are this loud. And what are my kicks doing? You know, are they the same? Are they the same size? If my kicks were like this small, then you could see there's a big problem. Same thing with the bass. Like you can see again, they're like roughly the same size. You know, if my bass was like this big, then you'd see, oh, there's a problem. You can also look at the side chain. Like, you can see the Avicii track "Wake Me Up" has less side chain. That's something to look at. Mixing has changed over the years, so like I'm not trying to do an exact one-on-one of like the "Wake Me Up" mixing. I'm mixing things a little bit different. You know, this is like a track that's what 13 years old now or something like that. But yeah, just like mostly trying to get like an overall mix of how your track sounds. And once you get it close, then sometimes your track is going to need slightly different tweaking than the other track. But if you can get it close, especially if there's a big song like this that's super popular that you know works well on radio and festivals, all that, then that's a very good song to use as a reference for your mix. All right, let's get back to these demos. Try to get through a few more. Yes, we just listened to that one. Okay, let's try to get into the 5 p.m. range. We already listened to that one. Someone sent in their demo twice. Let's see, I'm actually working in Reaper. I have FL Studio. What's the stem feature? Yeah, FL Studio has had AI stem splitting for, I think, 1.5 years now. 2 years maybe? Something like that. It's very nice. Actually quite a good melody. Mixing could definitely be improved, and arrangement is very strange. Like it starts building up and then it just goes to, like it sounds like it just drops back. There's like, yeah, so definitely, and this is another thing you can use song referencing for, is drag in a song that you really like and listen to how they arrange it. Where's the break? Where's the verse? Where's the build up? And also what elements are they using in there? You know, like for something in here, it's like you probably want some kicks or something. And then here you want to start bringing in the snares. So if you're unsure of like what instruments or what drum elements or whatever, just use a reference and then see what elements they're using. Do 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 do.
Remember when we were kids and the dream that we had? Remember what it felt like not being a dreams that were real. Never forget. It was the last time we were shooting
Okay, there's concept-wise, it's pretty decent. You have a decent structure. There just needs to be a lot of work on the mix. There's some bass notes that are like not in the not in the right key, but they're like wrong bass notes for what chords you're trying to do. So just try to go back in there and look at all your chords, your mixing. Again, try to get a reference track. Do 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 do.
Concrete nights are on the dash. These growing pains are beating hearts. Late night drive. Living on a listless life.
Yeah, same feedback as I've been giving. Very thin mix, so work on your mixing, get a reference track, and same thing with here. Like the arrangement of the whole track is just, there's missing a lot of elements, and you like start the track and then it just feels like it drops back to the intro. So find a reference for like what your song structure wants to be. Let's see, we might go a little bit out of order. Let's see. Helker. Okay, Helker, if you tell me what your email is, I can find it. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep going through in order. Yeah, sounds pretty good. Mixing is good. I think just concept-wise, like right here, things could be mixed better. Like this lead is very, very soft. So yeah, just look at song structure. Maybe try to find a vocal to like put in. Try to get some elements so you can like really structure your song better. But mixing concept-wise is pretty cool. Yeah, if you guys just want to drop your emails or whatever name that I can look in my inbox and try to find your demos, then I can try to search those up. Nice guitar. Cool track. I love the melodic bass stuff. Just sound design wise, sample wise, I think you can, especially like your kick, you could find a lot fatter kick. Let's see. Okay, we got yeah, just again, drop your name in there. Let's see, Sarthak. Okay. Okay, this sounds like you have an interesting concept. There's just a lot of like production and sound design and mixing and stuff that needs to be worked on. All right, Braden, I got you. Same thing here. Song structure is pretty unclear, and mixing is a lot of elements just sound very washed out. Okay, mixing on here is a lot better. A lot of the bass notes are the wrong notes for the chords you're using. Yeah, this is the best demo from you. Just see if you can work on your chord progressions and mixing. All right, what do we got? Let's go with Sempty. Sempty? Like empty, but with a S? Okay. We got Breathe. Let's check this out.
I've been trapped inside my mind, running circles, losing time. Every heartbeat like a war, can't remember what I'm fighting for. And because the sky always turns gray.
Vocal sounds very muddy. Sounds very AI. I don't know what the vocal is. Song structure wise, already here. You should be bringing in more elements, maybe like a kick or shakers or something. Again, the vocal is like very AI artifacty, whatever, but it's being very drowned out by a lot of the elements in this section. Okay, mixing is pretty good. Could be improved a little bit. The melody is decent, but I think it could be a lot stronger if, like, I don't like the chords. I don't think the chords support the melody super well. So my feedback would be try to mess around with your chord progression, see if you can find something that supports the melody a lot better. And then song structure, see if you can add like proper song structure here, add more elements, kick or whatever. Just to keep the song moving along. And then, yeah, with the vocal, even if it's a demo vocal, you can make it, right now the vocal is like very, very muddy. It's like very in the background, especially here, it gets like super, super drowned out. Like it almost sounds like you have a filter on it or something. All right, let's see. What else we got? Helker? Helker. Okay, what do we got? The vocal sounds very off key from the song. Yeah, this vocal is very off key from the song. Melody's strong, production sounds pretty good, but the bass completely dropped out. There's like a lot of bass here, and then in the drop is just completely gone. No bass. Make sure to add bass to the drop, and maybe find another vocal. That vocal is quite out of key from the song. I think that's the same one. All right, let's see. Braden, I got you. Braden Fox. Let's go listen to this one instead. All right, let's check it.
We were just strangers, talking till sunrise. You trace constellations on my tired eyes. Every word pulling me closer, every laugh turning me over. I was scared you didn't notice how my hands shook when you spoke. I'm falling through the starlight. Every time you say my name, you pull me like a tide. Nothing ever feels the same. Lose control.
I quite like this. I don't like the vocal. I don't know where the vocal's from. Like melody and everything, it's very cool. I think just my main thing is mixing. Everything sounds very mono in the drop. It sounds quite a bit muddy too. And then like in the build up and everything, like the snares are super loud. The snares sound like very harsh. So yeah, I would just find some references for mixing especially. But yeah, very, very cool melody. So keep working on that one. All right, Lazo, I got you. This is very cool. Love it. The drop sounds super mono. I think you could definitely find some elements even with like the main chords. You could definitely widen those up, make a a patch or something that's a lot wider. You could definitely find some better samples. Like this kick sample sounds very kind of weak. But yeah, like concept wise, I love it. It's a very cool sound. Okay, let's see. Who do we got next? I'm Bara. Doom to doom to doo.
Round one. System override detected. Drop incoming. Don't look for meaning. Just feel the drop.
Yeah, quite good production, honestly. I think in the break, it's very empty. I think you could find some better elements to like fill that out. And overall, the mix sounds very thin, especially your main lead just sounds like super washed out. But like, yeah, I mean, production-wise and sound design-wise, like everything's there. Just needs some work on the mixing to like fatten things up, and especially the lead is just very thin and washed out. Okay. I see you guys. I'll get to you in just a sec. Yeah, good melody. Production sounds pretty strong. Just mixing wise, the mix could be cleaned up, and you can see, like, I mean, you can see it and you can hear it. The break is so much quieter than the drop. So that's one thing with mixing too, is not just the overall sound of the track, but like how the whole track flows together. So one big thing to work on here is make sure that the break is obviously not the same energy as the drop. Like the drop can be a little bit louder, but right now the drop is way too loud compared to the break, if that makes sense. Okay. Smahadi. I got you, August. Ooh, Katharina remix. Oh no. We're back to ads. Sorry, boys. One quick second while these ads load. How can I collab with Martin Garrix? Make something incredibly good, I guess. Tag him, make something insane.
Those words were born in Colorado, and so were we. From the plains to the peaks, we grew.
All right, I'll get through the rest of everyone on the chat, and then
we're proud to keep growing.
we gotta call it soon.
Here's
Gotta
to
end this
150
demo stream.
years of
Been
this
streaming
state
for
we
almost
call
3.5 hours.
Bank of Colorado. There's only one. Member FDIC.
Okay, sounds good. Ooh, Katharina. Yeah, the melody is actually quite good. I think right now all the notes like really bleed into each other. I think you could definitely take away some of the sustain, and so the notes are a bit more staccato instead of so like flowing into each other. Also, the same feedback as the last track. This drop is way louder than the break, so definitely work on mixing in terms of like making the track a more steady volume across the whole track. Fame. I don't see your name in here, Fame. It is not popping up. I don't know why it's not popping up, but maybe if you can send me a different name. Malik, I think, oh, wait, maybe we got a new one? I listened to one of your tracks earlier, it was quite good. Sounds cool. Very cool elements in here. It's just drowning out the vocal so much. Yeah, all the elements are drowning out the vocal quite heavily. Not a big fan of this whole fake out thing. You can do it, but maybe make it like half of the time of what it is. Yeah, you're clearly a good producer. I would just work on mixing, especially with the vocals. The vocals get very drowned out by some of the other elements. Okay, what's this? Okay, love the concept of this track. The mixing is, oh my god, there's so much high end, it's hurting my ears. Yeah, the leads are super thin and there's like so much white noise. So just work on mixing. Concept wise, it's very cool. But yeah, just, oh my gosh, there's so much high end. Bring in like, I don't know, maybe a Brooks track someday or something like that. See if you can get, just really tone down those highs. Okay. Keep putting your names in here. I'm gonna look them up one at a time and see what you got. Vocal sounds good. Sounds clear. Your mixing, I was quite impressed in the break, and when it comes to the drop, everything just feels like it gets muddy and underwater. Like the production is there, all the production elements sound quite good, just mixing wise it's quite underwater. The leads sound very like muddy. Yeah, so very good job. Like the production is there, you just need to work on mixing, really make the drop a bit more shiny, less muddy, less underwater. All right, let's see. Azod. Ooh. Love it. Nice deep house, melodic house. Yeah, love this concept wise. I have a side project that's like melodic house, so love all the elements going there. I think just song structure wise, it feels a bit unstructured, and definitely mixing wise, like especially the lead and everything, things are just a bit washed out, but very cool concept. So definitely keep working on that. Just focus on the mixing of things and get a proper song structure. Listen to like some songs from like Selected or something. Let's see. Okay, DJ Blue and White. Blue and White and Woot. Blue, come on. Blue and White. There we go. Let's see what you got.
Ready for your next pickleball
Oh
tournament?
No.
Register today for the
We're
USA
back to
Pickleball Golden
SoundCloud.
Ticket Tournament in Colorado Springs and
Ads.
Pickleball, June 24th through 28th.
Do, do,
Register by
do,
June
do.
14th for your chance to compete on the
No
national
Denver
stage.
shows
Visit
coming up. Not yet. The last show I played with Telecast, Denver is a very like bassy scene, so yeah, the turnout wasn't great on the last show. It was very good energy, but I think maybe I'll try to do some more shows in Denver after my album comes out, once I can build a little bit of a bigger following here.
Every Mazda SUV offers you an elevated driving experience and refined performance. Discover it at Sochar Mazda.
Alright, let's see if we got this. Come on. Yeah, it's a cool remix. Sounds pretty good overall. I don't like the kick sample. I think you could find a much better kick sample. Mixing wise, everything. Again, just get a really solid mixing or mixing reference. But yeah, it's a good track, good concept. Pretty clean. Like you can hear all the elements. So just keep working on mixing for that one. Let's see. All right, who do we got next? AGB. Yeah, this is quite solid. Production's good, mixing is good. A lot of the effects seem to be like very panned over to the left, so I would see if you can maybe make those a bit more mono, a bit more in the center. But yeah, that's quite a good track. Let's see. All right, Audric. For some reason, your name's not coming up. I don't know if there's another name I can look up. Let's see. TZVIKY. Not finding your name. If there's another name I can search. Chris Wave. Okay, Chris Wave, we got you. Yeah, Chris, mixing everything overall is quite good. The song sounds very mono, so I'd definitely see if you can make the song a bit wider, a bit more stereo. And yeah, the leads and chords kind of mushed together. See if you can maybe brighten those up a bit. They're a bit muddy, but overall, mixing is pretty good. All right, let's see. Riley James, let's see what you got. Yeah, this sounds pretty good overall. Mixing is pretty good. Sounds like there's some weird like stereo imaging or something going on with some of the elements. Also, like at the end of this drop, it just fades out to like nothingness. See if you can add some like transition or sub drop or something. It just like goes to silence. Also in the second break, I would already immediately come in with the bass element. But yeah, overall sounds quite good. Okay, what do we got? Javu. Okay, we got one from Javu. Nice. Yeah, melody is cool. It just needs mixing. Like the kick sample is like super distorted. I would probably try to find a more progressive kick sample. This is just the style of the kick is a bit weird. Doesn't quite match the style. The leads are very thin. But yeah, just get a reference track, work on your mixing. But I think this could be cool. Melody is pretty good. Let's see. Melody's pretty strong. Everything in the drop, especially the lead, sounds quite muddy. So see if you can work on mixing. And again, the break is super, 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 super quiet compared to the drop. So make sure you have, similar volume within the break and the drop. It can't be like too much louder in the drop. All right. Audric, I'm going to try you one more time. I couldn't find you before. Oh, there we go.
I feel you rush, it's I can let go, I cannot decide if I should let go, feel so alive, inside you echo, 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 tonight, I lose my
Embrace the newness of spring with
Oh no,
delicious new
we're back to
beverages
ads.
at Starbucks Cafe.
1 second.
Stop by and experience the bold new iced ube coconut macchiato, topped with purple ube coconut flavored cold foam. It adds a pop of sweetness to your day. For a refreshing twist on a classic, toasted coconut flavor. Our signature cold brew topped with creamy toasted coconut.
Yeah, I quite like this track. Melody's very cool. It just needs some mixing. The leads, the whole mix of the drop. I think you could probably get a better kick sample, but everything in the drop just sounds a little bit muddy. But other than that, it's very cool. Love the melody. Yeah, good job. I think the melody's pretty strong. There's some places that's a little hard to follow, so see if you can refine the melody a little bit. And also to support that, some of the chord changes and stuff is a bit hard to follow. So see if you can get a really strong melody, see if you can refine it a little bit more, and then see if you can find a chord progression that supports that a little bit better. Mixing is pretty good. It's a bit muddy, but pretty good. All right. I'm going to do 2 more, and then I got things I need to do. So I'm going to drop off here. Okay, mixing sounds decent. The melody is pretty good. I would just work mostly on song structure. Just get a reference and reference for your song structure, especially in the drop. It really takes away from the energy of the drop when you have the vocals over. Like in the second drop, maybe at the very end, you could have the vocals over, but at least for the first drop, you should really only have the drop and not the vocals going all over it. Let's see. Let's look up Jeg. I've seen that name for a long time. Oh, Art Time remix. Okay, this is a good one to end on. Let's see what you got, Jeg. Interesting. It's kind of a weird mix between progressive house and piano house. I would try to, if you want to do piano house, I would really try to stick with that. Like have the piano be the main element and take away those progressive house leads, because right now it's like a weird mush between the two. Mixing could definitely use a lot of work, but yeah, I would just try to like pick a style and stick to that style, and just be very like have a very like defined style. Don't try to do like a mix between it. Okay, I'm gonna do one more from Harry, and then I'll tune off. Okay, I like the chords. It's pretty good. The melody's almost there. Like it starts out good. I think it's just a little bit hard to follow. So see if you can really define that melody. And then otherwise, like mixing wise, everything just feels very muddy, especially in the drop. It's just like the elements aren't shining through. So just see if you can give each element its space, EQ out each element so it has its own space. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, there is a ton more demos that have been sent and I didn't get through, but I've been streaming for close to 4 hours now, and I have lots of stuff I need to get to. So I'm probably going to do another one of these streams, probably, I don't know, maybe in the next couple weeks. I'll do another stream and get to some of these demos that I didn't get to today. So I'll, yeah, you can just leave the demos in here that you already sent, and I'll go back and look through them. But yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in. If I missed your demo, I will get it in the next one. I'll try to do these demo streams a little bit more regularly so I can give you guys some more feedback. But yeah, thank you everyone for sending in the demos that you did. Thank you for tuning in. And yeah, this is a fun thing to do. So keep sending demos. I'll just have this email open. You can always send demos whenever during the live streams or before, whatever. And I will catch you in the next one. Thank you guys so much. I think I haven't done this in a long time, but I believe this demo stream will be posted on my YouTube. So if you want to go back and listen to it, you can. I'll catch you in the next one, guys. Thank you so much.